branding means that you are creating a recall in the mind of the consumer whenever next they try to buy a product. From a business and marketing point of view, because I think only these two things, which is promotion and price, is something that can make you win, because your service, I'm taking everyone's service at an equal level.
Welcome to all of you to the brand new episode of Icons Behind Brand video interview series, Back to Basics in the Time of Uncertainty, where we are going to have a conversation with some of the leading minds in the business. And I am privileged to announce the presence of our today's guest, who has achieved many milestones in his illustrious career, from being the first one to represent India at Young Lions Media Competition at Cannes Lion, to emerging gold winner of the Young Spike Media competition at Spike Asia Singapore in the same year. He has also worked with industry behemoths like Nokia, Microsoft, Ola, and currently with MediBuddy. I welcome Mr. Ashish Bajaj, who is the head of marketing at MediBuddy. We are glad to have you with us, Ashish. A warm welcome to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Devalina, for having me.
And thank you for joining us, Ashish. It's our privilege to have you here. And we are looking forward to hear more success story from you today. Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Absolutely thrilled to be here.
Ashish, would like to know about your personal journey and background. So tell us more about that.
So, born in a typical North Indian business family, who have been into business for last 50 odd years, and the only one who has not joined the business and moved out on doing, or as we call in my family, service class. So moved on to work into a corporate segment. I've done BTech, MBA, and post that I joined Maxis. So that's a bit of background, and since then, I think 2010, 2011, since then has been the journey.
Awesome. So what is the big change you see the way consumers approach your segment today versus a year back, Ashish?
Well, Devalina, so actually, yes, in last a year and a half since the pandemic started, the category, or I'll say digital healthcare platforms or telemedicines or doctor consultation online. So all of these kind of industries put together into a digital healthcare platform. These category has seen a tremendous growth. And I'm talking about the category. It's not just that the top 3 or top 2 are growing. It's about everyone growing. And as per latest numbers, medical apps on Google Play stores in last 6 months have added 270 more apps.
Wow.
So which are predominantly not only doing teleconsultations, but are also doing some facet of healthcare online. So that is how the category has grown. MediBuddy was one of the early starters in the category, and they've been around for long. And of course, yes, these guys are. We are a market leader, and we've been helping out millions of families, touching more than 15 to 20 million users as well. So it has, and I'll say that it's not only for MediBuddy, also the category itself, the likes of the others who are providing teleconsultations have also grown tremendously.
Awesome. So yeah, the kind of past we have seen, and we are still going through with that. So I'm very sure, like, I mean, the kind of work which you have done especially the last month and last couple of months, what we have gone through. I think it was flooded with, the needy people. So we actually need more companies like this, Ashish. So
Absolutely, you picked up the right thing, because I'll tell you what, there is a dire need of having quality healthcare services available to tier 2, tier 3, R1, R2 kind of cities and locations in our geographical vast country. And we all know, yes, the current health infrastructure requires a lot of technological advancements to service the billion Indians we are. So it was a need. Of course, we were the first starters in the category, and I think all our organization, and I'm pretty sure, and I can vouch for the entire digital healthcare category itself, that they all are right now looking to help people in need, actually.
And especially at the time of panic, where there are a lot of informations floating, and I say more than information, misinformations are floating. So it's very important, and the need of the person, like an organized way to get the right information is itself is a very big support. At that point of time, we have seen like people are struggling for right information.
Absolutely. So I think this category, if I say first, the healthcare as a category was never into building brand, was never into building trust, or never was into building or hand-holding the consumer. See, healthcare is a very different kind of industry from any other, because here the person who takes the services is different. The person who pays for the service is different, and the person who decides which doctor, which hospital to go to is a different person. So earlier, the entire consumer journey, you have to tackle three kind of consumers.
Yes.
Basically, patient, payer, and provider. So all of these are different, and this is not as a straight line for any other industry. And to an extent, education is similar to this, and not otherwise. But now, with the abundance of digital healthcare platforms coming in, it has become much more important to focus on the patient, because now you have the power at your own hand, and you can actually decide what I need for me, which moves you into more of a preventive and a wellness space, rather than a prescriptive or a prescription-led healthcare space, right? So the beauty is now it is becoming more and more important for healthcare brands to take a notion and say, yes, brand building is a bigger exercise for me, and with brand building, I need to build the trust with the consumers so that they can come back to me and trust me whatever I tell them to. For this, a very important part of your communication objective is to provide the right kind of information as well for all.
That's right.
So, we all are doing our bit, and I'm sure you must be seeing the kind of even the government of India asking not to spread misinformation, the kind of tweets the government of India is doing, or anyone is talking within the verified segments, are trying to provide the right kind of information. Because yes, WhatsApp University has led to a lot of misinformation as well.
Right. So as you rightly said about the right communication, Ashish, so I'm queuing for that. So one of the very important part of a brand, especially in the healthcare segment, is right messaging. Okay, so how one should ensure that the messaging is going right to the target audience, and what one should keep in mind so that it resonates well to the target audience of today.
So internally, and also whatever the experience I have, we've always been trying to do one thing and do it correctly, is keep it very simple. Even if you put yourself and put myself into the center, if I'm going through jargons of healthcare, I think that's best with doctors and the paramedic staff to understand. For us, I just need one solution, which is, I'm not feeling well, what should I do? So if you keep your communication objectives as simple to the core, to the need of the consumer, I think cracking a good communication out of it is going to be an easy job for any marketer to be. But as easy as it sounds when I'm saying, trust me, it is not. There are even from our point of view, we are trying to evolve our communication strategies. We are trying to evolve our insights because consumer is changing, right? So earlier, when I used to say, for instance, if I had some issue and I had to talk to a doctor, who I used to go to? Either my friend, either anyone who's my neighbor, or somebody, if I'm lucky enough to find out, who had got treated for the same problem with a similar doctor. That is how you got the reference. So the entire market earlier was only on referrals, right? But now I'm searching, I'm reading the reviews, I'm going through the profile. So I have a lot more done into my entire thought process, or I would say entire consumer journey, where I have added so many facets of more information that I'm getting. Thus, this was not true 5 years, 10 years back. Now it has become vastly open. So thus your communication objectives have also need to evaluate all of those things in mind.
Right. So as they say, it's very easy to be simple, but it's not so easy to be simple. You know, it's as complicated as to be simple, because we have complexed ourselves so much, so that, I mean, it's tough to go back and speak the simple words and to talk in a straight away way. Otherwise, yeah, as you said, jargons. So jargons are floating everywhere, and it sounds nice. It sounds nice when you speak jargons, but the most important factor here is to communicate, whether the receiver is receiving or not. So rather than the communication, rather than the speaking, it has to be a proper receiving as well. So very rightly pointed out, Ashish.
So if I may give you an example, from this category has now moved from fearful marketing to actually trust-based marketing. And what we are doing, we are moving it to the next level in terms of making it purpose marketing. So basically what we are trying to do is, there are specific days which are related to your health, where you need, because those have been created either by WHO or created by organizations around the world to predominantly spread awareness about a particular disease, right? So what we are trying to do is simplify that process of understanding the disease, as simple as making it, we've been using some kids as well in terms of telling you what is the right way of decoding or being preventive healthcare. So yes, making it as simple as that and being relevant to the current trend is what has become important, and it's one of our main pillars as well.
Awesome. So you said about, we spoke about the communication and right messaging. So what is more preferred medium of communication for you today, and what is the least preferred one to reach out to the customer?
Okay, so I will say keeping customer in the center. If his media weights are suggesting that his affinity and the reach is high on a particular medium, of course that is the one that is the most required. But of late, a consumer doesn't, basically not of late, but it has been a truth that a consumer in his normal sense of life never differentiate between any of the mediums, right? So he never differentiates, oh, I've seen this on TV, oh, I have seen this on Facebook. So basically those guys still say, I've seen this ad. Mm-hmm. Of course, the impact of various media channels is very, very different, and the kind of it leaves on to you everlasting impact is basically on those media channels, of course. But keeping the consumer in the center and the business we are in, of course, we are being a digital first organization or the brand as well. Our first say has been on digital, because it solves for a lot of gaps in the consumer journey and brings them closer to the product as well. But nevertheless, as to grow to the category, as to get more and more people reach out the positiveness of the services that we provide or how they can help you, you need far-reaching mediums. So your always your ATLs or your traditional media still follow suit for us.
Right. So both has their own advantage and disadvantages, but it's always the need of the hour what we are choosing at this point of time. So looking at the scenario, Ashish, what is your say? Brand should increase or decrease or stop the media spend right now?
Okay, see, the need of the consumer is not going to stop even if you stop spending as the brand. There can be days when, because of certain environmental or category issues where you were not being utilized so much, but spending means that you are creating a recall in the mind of the consumer whenever next they try to buy a product. That's the whole idea of advertising, right? But if you are making it to zero, you better find out a way that you are able to do a zero marketing campaigns. I must say zero budget marketing campaigns. Otherwise, I will always suggest there can be null periods, but totally going off the hook is not advisable, because then you will have to do the same hard work at least into 3 or into 5 to reach to the level that you were at. And it's by the experience, witnessed, and that's why I'm reporting it.
Right. Absolutely.
The effort is more.
With that, yes. That instead of zero communication, not talking at all to the consumer, it's always an intelligent way that you communicate through some medium. Right?
So let's pick up an example. Last 1 year, travel or the hospitality industry is the hardest hit, right?
Right.
Now, and the null period for them has been very, very long. Correct. So I'm sure every marketer in that category must be feeling, why do I communicate? Right. But there were few who never stopped. Right. Correct. So we're still, even if I talk about the travel portals, MMT is still talking to me. Right. So whenever I have a need, they are on top of my mind and I'll go back to them. And nobody else, right? Even from hospitality point of view, Taj is still talking to me as a consumer. They've not left that string between us. Even airports, I don't know how much you are registered into the airports, but if you start using some airports frequently, they talk to you usually. But for a year, for a very good period of time, those guys were shut. There was no movement at all, but they still kept talking to you. And a very good example is GMR Bangalore. And they never stop talking to you. That is why that is how you create. You're still creating the brand because your communication is not zero. And if you do that, make it absolutely zero, then it's a death that you're opening up for yourself.
Right. So rightly said, there are many segments which has which had to do nothing. The automobile segment, you say, or the healthcare. So they had to pivot it in a different way so that they look relevant, and now they're coming up again with a little different marketing strategy, as well as they are ready to come offline more stronger once the market opens up. So yes, so I think the communication should not get stopped here.
Absolutely.
Message. So what are the big challenges you see, Ashish, coming your way in the next 12 months?
If I directly talk about our category, then too many brands trying to reach out to the same consumer, because for any category, if you look at the graph or the growth of that category, the early adopters are always limited. In this category, of course, is a 5-year, 6-year old. Even the similar trend was seen in e-commerce. Till the time it reached tier 2 and tier 3, it took a good amount of time. But thankfully, for the healthcare category, it started reaching already to tier 2, tier 3. 50% of our audience on our platform is from tier 2 and tier 3 towns. So that means it has started already reaching to the India or say Bharat heartland. The difficulty for anyone in the category could be that with too many players trying to get attention of those limited set of users. So that is going to be a very tricky situation, and from a business and marketing point of view, because I think only these two things, which is promotion and price, is something that can make you win, because your service, I'm taking everyone's service at an equal level right now.
Right. So as the adoption, India is not an early adopter country, so I think that is the challenge. But at the same time, we have witnessed a time where everybody has, how drastically they have moved digitally. So that has become one advantage of the, digital platforms to grow drastically and change the consumer behavior, I believe.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, it has. Because we had already started ordering medicines quite a couple of years back through online, right?
Right.
Single application, fine. But home sample pickups. Because even if I was scared and I was still in my house because I was not going out, but still my preventive healthcare needs were always there. There are people who have chronic diseases, people who have thyroid, people who have diabetes, people who have symptoms with PCOD. So all of these guys need their quarterly or monthly checks, however prescribed by their doctors, right? Those needs are not going to even go out if the world is shut. You still need to know. I still need to know whether my diabetes is doing fine or not. Am I taking care of myself or not? So suddenly there was a huge growth of home sample collections, even in all of the diagnostic centers. I'm sure you know how Grofers started taking 4 days to deliver the order. Even then, we were not pushing or abusing the brand. We were still saying, okay, fine, we know we are in the need, we need it, you have to send it. Even the mom and pop shop in our community was taking WhatsApp orders, which always used to make you wait. Why don't you wait? I'll pack and give it to you, right? And now suddenly you just text them and they send it over to you. Yes. So that's of course the change that has happened.
Yes, we have seen the a complete evolution where as you said, the pop-up stores in the community itself, like it is almost acting as an app. You just have to put it in the WhatsApp, and they have created WhatsApp groups also. I mean, and home chefs, there are a lot of things. I mean, they have created WhatsApp group. You just have to ping and everything you are getting.
Yes, absolutely. And the kind of shift that has happened for all of us in the last 1.5 years has been exponential. We would have easily taken 5 to 10 years to reach to this level, because now my mom, 65 years old, now she doesn't need me to go out and get her stuff. She has all the contact numbers. She knows how to use WhatsApp. She sends it and gets it done. So they're self-reliant. They don't need anyone's help now. If that segment of demographic is moving towards being digitally savvy or digital, basically taking care of themselves on their own, and then I think that is a great move for our entire ecosystem.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Ashish. As you said, in fact, I mean, the segment which has always felt that we are not a digital person, now they are more empowered. We are more connected. We celebrated birthday parties in Zoom to everything, and I'm sure that once things are normal, we are going to continue, at least partially we are going to continue the same way, that even if I have a celebration, I will call everybody on Zoom, whosoever is not coming.
Yeah.
Right? So weddings and everything. So
you picked up very correctly that now even if one of my friend is not able to physically be there, that guy still be there virtually, and I don't feel bad about it. So we've reached to that levels, right?
Right. Complete, behavioral change, and we are ready to accept a lot of things which I don't think, I mean, we would have done it if this wouldn't have happened, right? So my next question is here, once the market opens up, what would be your key focus area in terms of the marketing strategy going forward?
See, for healthcare, market opens up or closes, of course, your requirement. And thankfully, being into the digital space, your requirement is going to be the same. But given the context to the category that it has now become into creating a name for your own platform, thus our marketing strategy is going to still be true, which is to create a trust for the brand, to keep the customer at the center and try to handhold them with and showcase all the empathy that we can in leading them to basically giving them quality healthcare. So those two things are gonna be core to us. They are actually to a sense they are independent factors of market opening up or closing for us. But yes, when it starts opening up, there can be shifts in terms of the queries or the healthcare issues that have popped up in last 1.5 years might see a decline. So there can be a shift in kind of using your service lines. But yes, as per the category, it's going to be true.
That's right. Yeah, because there will be a mind shift, once things are opening up. So I'm sure. So I'm sure you and your team are working on that. Yeah.
In last 1.5 years, mental health has become so important on our platform, on digital healthcare platforms, and on our platform as well. We might see a decline when people start going to office, right? People going out, because right now you are bounded and you're sitting in the four walls of your house. But suddenly when you come back to your life as it was supposed to be, you might see a shift from that. Then you might see a lot of preventive habits coming back in, which had already started a couple of years back. So that tweaking for us definitely will be there. But it still remains that you still have to build the trust, keeping in mind the competition or the category factor.
Right. So Ashish, what works best for you in terms of the agency, a full-time creative agency or multiple agencies?
So full-time works always, because then it's like having a coin. People can say that tail is that you don't get new ideas. And whereas I say head, you get the ideas that work for you. Of course, you have to be experimental. There's no denying the fact. If you're not being experimental, that means you are not doing anything for the brand, and then that brand can't grow for you. But I'll still say full service agencies help. Why? Because they understand you better. Yes, new minds coming at the set of the agency, or new marketing managers internally in your own team can provide that extra edge that you're looking for when you're running around 6 different agencies. And I'm sure it must be nightmare for any marketer to actually send out brief to 6, receive the ideas and feel like, oh my God, this is nowhere close to what I thought.
Right.
So I'll try to save myself all that pain. Rather, I'll spend 2 extra hours with them in terms of brainstorming. So for me, it's a full service agency works for me.
Right. So I think it's a relationship which grows better when you spend more time and a longer time, and that's how you actually understand each other better, and the result comes in a better way, right? So
absolutely, yes.
Connected in that way. So now we are moving to a very interesting section, which is a rapid fire round. One of my very favorite round, which I enjoy taking it. So you have to answer in one word. Right.
Okay, I'll try my best.
What is leadership for you? Leadership.
Okay, being supportive.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Morning person.
Name a brand which you admire the most other than your own.
Amul.
Awesome. One book or podcast you would like to recommend other marketers.
Life.
So is
Your own life is a better book than anyone to
Amazing.
anything read.
Loved your answer, Ashish.
Thank you.
Your hidden talent.
I'm a good cook.
Wow. So one thing about you that surprises people.
Okay, I've never checked this, but I'm sure humor.
Awesome. What was something which made you extremely proud of you about you?
Of course, representing your country amongst 110 countries, it was a proud moment when you were called out, saying that so and so person from India, and it's a totally different feeling.
Absolutely, it's indeed a proud moment, and I congratulate you for that, Ashish.
Thank you so much.
So we are out of the rapid fire round. What is your message to the aspiring brand managers, marketers, entrepreneurs who are exploring the marketing? Right.
So anyone who is entering new, I'll say when we were entering, we used to be, I'll say, methodical. We used to go by the book to a little time. Why? Because we were still starting up and we wanted to understand more about it. We used to listen to the advice given to us by our seniors.
Right.
And we never ever came across as saying that I know everything. So basically, have an attitude of learning, taking the feedback correctly. And it's not possible to know everything within the first couple of years if you're into the marketing field. Marketing is more, of course, it is data driven. A lot of things people say that it's analytics driven, it's AI driven. I get a lot of data and then I do a lot of stuff. But to an extent, if your gut, that comes with experience only. If your gut is not mixing the dough properly or is part of the dough, you can't be a good marketer. So patience is the key as well. And never because of fear, don't try new things. That, for instance, if I do experimental stuff and it fails, what does that mean to me? Always see the pros and cons of it, and my suggestion is, if it's too experimental, that means you definitely should try it out.
Awesome one, Ashish. This is definitely valuable stuff, for any aspiring marketers, aspiring brand managers, entrepreneurs, startup owners, because marketing is one of the key challenges for any business. And if you do a survey, like if somebody is running a business, if you do a survey like what is your biggest challenge, either it will be a manpower challenge, hiring, or the second challenge will be a marketing one. So I think this is basic, but we have to follow the basic to reach out to the goal. So as you said, that keep learning new things, don't stop learning, be a student forever, and
Absolutely.
be patient. Like all basic thing, you just follow the basic and the things are going to fall in place. This is absolutely valuable stuff which you are sharing, Ashish, and thanks a lot for sharing this. Yeah, we are glad to have you here, and a lot of key insights and valuable inputs from your side. And thank you for your time, Ashish.
Thanks. Pleasure is all mine. Just one closing remarks. Like you picked up startup founders. So a person who's becoming or getting into the journey or being a startup founder or an entrepreneur in their own self, how much you spend into getting a raw material if you're producing a product. You should invest the similar kind of time and effort in marketing as well. So a lot of time when you're starting new, what happens is you keep building the house, but you are not giving people or a postcard to send it to your house. All right. So marketing is basically that postcard that goes to you and brings those people's postcard to your house. So if you're building a house, it's equally important to build that service or actually taking out what you're trying to do. So these are the two things which they always do it better. Why? Because they know the product or the service that they're trying to produce. The second thing which sometimes some lags is being reliant on marketing to get you home in terms of your numbers. So that's my closing. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, very rightly, pointed out in the pain points of any business owner, any startup owners, because the product and services which they are making, they're very focused and they're confident about that. But at the same time, being best is important, but being best known is also very important for any brand to grow in the market. So very rightly, pointed out, and this is going to add a lot of value to the startup owners, Ashish. And thank you so much for your valuable insights here.
Thank you so much.